Hey everybody, welcome to semester 2. Hope you had a really good break. I want to go through what it is that we're doing all semester and what you can expect. First, an overview. In semester 2, quarter 3, we're going to spend time on 3 physics chapters, starting with chapter 6 on momentum, moving into chapter 7 on energy, and then a combined kind of chapter 10 and 8 on rotation and projectiles. In between quarter 3 and quarter 4, we're going to have 2 big projects, starting first with bridge building and bridge breaking, and then a field trip to Wild Adventures. Coming on the end of the bridge and Wild Adventures, in quarter 4, we'll be starting up sound, light, and electromagnetism. Now, all this you can find online on our OneDrive and on our Schoology calendars. I'm going to take you through and take a look at this wildlife calendar really day by day on what it is that we're going to do for semester 2. Starting in January, we got 20 days of class. We've got 3 days this week, followed by next week, which is going to be Egg Week, or the week of the egg. All sorts of different momentum labs and experiments with eggs. We're off on the 15th. You'll note that we are finishing up chapter 6 momentum on January 24th, starting chapter 7 on energy on the 25th, and then our testing day that week is on Friday. So test 1 will be on momentum on January 26th. From there we'll continue on end of January into February. February has us going through energy, which is perfect because on February 9th, the Winter Olympics start. So we'll be traveling to South Korea quite a bit to take a look at the science of the Olympics and the science of sport. We'll be finishing up chapter 7 on Wednesday the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. And we'll be starting on chapter 8 and 10 fusion on the 15th of February. The test for chapter 7, test number 2 on energy, will be on the 16th. We're off on the 19th. Gives us 2 more weeks at the end of February. Moving into the beginning of March, which is sea otters. You'll note that on the 8th of March, we'll finish up our 15 days of chapter 8 and 10. And just so you know, for those first 3 chapters, 6, 7, and then 8 and 10, each of those will be 15-day sections with a test at the end. So the test at the end of the 3rd quarter, which will cover chapters 8 and 10, will be on March 9th. We then head into spring break. When we get back from spring break, we'll be focusing on our bridge building contest. This is a way to take really all that we've learned so far this year and apply it to an engineering project.
The actual collapse of the world's 3rd largest suspension bridge. Finally, the swinging road and the suspension cables give way and plunge into the water below.
We'll be starting in on a little bit of our study of sound. So you'll note that 6, 7, and 8 happen at the beginning of our physics study, and then we get into latter parts, really part 4 of the textbook on sound, chapters 19, 20, and 21, followed by light, which will be chapter 26, 27, 28, and 29. Now keep in mind, these will be very project and activity and lab based. So we're covering a lot of information about picking and choosing from each of those chapters. So whereas in the first really 3 quarters of the year, we're focusing on 1 chapter at a time, going really deep. Towards the end of the year, in the 4th quarter, with sound and light and electromagnetism, we're going to be doing lots of activities that really cover more than 1 chapter at a time. And our last section will be on electromagnetism, or electricity and magnetism, chapters 22, 23, and 24. Now, as we peek into April, so our 2nd to last month, you'll see that our test 4 bridge building will happen on April 3rd. So that will count as a test. On the 5th of April, we'll be traveling to Wild Adventures. Once back, we're continuing our study of sound, which will conclude on April 16th. Our 5th test on sound will be on Wednesday, April 18th. We'll then be starting up our study of light. Sophomore Safari happens at the end of April. So class days missed will be the 26th and 27th. We get back on the 29th. into our last calendar month. May has 15 days of class. We've got the 1st through 3rd still covering light. Our 6th and final test will be on light on May 7th. The following day, we'll start up electromagnetism. And that will take us straight up through 21st with exams starting on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. All right, so that's our calendar. That's what we're doing. A lot of activity, a lot of exploration, similar to what we did in the first half of the year. Really building on the kids' ability to be inquiry-based. Also, this information is online. It's on our Excel file. All the homework and date will be on our Schoology. Please keep our other references in mind too with our OneDrive and YouTube videos. And lastly, just a thing about communication. So kids are getting semester 2 homework passes. So the details of how these work are written on the back. So in the first semester, we're a little bit lenient on that. We want to make sure we stick to this perfectly. And then it mentions some things on here from the beginning of the year on communication. So between student and parent, and student and teacher and parent. So be sure to let me know if you have any questions or any feedback. Looking forward to an awesome second semester.